Sup, Shredders. My name is Logan, aka SP Plays, aka SP Talks, aka SP a lot of things because I'm a man who is doing a lot of things at the moment. Welcome to this update video, where today we're going to talk about the schedule for the next couple of months, maybe even the rest of the year. Because it's going to be a big one for me. It's going to be a big one for me personally. I'm going to go into why that is, to talk about my various ventures I'm involved in, and how that affects this very little channel that actually isn't so little, because how many people get to a couple of hundred subscribers, you know what I mean? Basically, over the last month, I've been on break. I've been on a break for about 6 weeks or so, because in New Zealand, where I'm based, you get 6 weeks off if you're a school student or if you're a teacher. Because I am a music teacher is my main sort of job. I teach music to around between 50 and 60 students a week, and I do it during the school terms. So I work about 40 weeks a year, 41 weeks a year, including this one year because there's like 11 weeks in the first term. And effectively what's happening, right, is that I'm back to work soon. I'm back to work. And it's not like back to work like for like a 9 to 5 or anything like that. It's back to work 6 days a week, 4 hours a day. And you're like, man, that sounds easy. That's not a lot of work. You know what? You know, doing 30 hours a week max of teaching ain't too bad. You know, I have a really fantastic job. I've gotten to do something I'm passionate about for like 10 years or so. You know, I'm incredibly privileged to be able to make a living, a kind of a healthy living, because I'm having to pay bit of income tax this year, a healthy living off of what I do. But in addition to the teaching this year, I've also got a few other things I'm getting involved with. I've got my music reviews, which are now become a pretty alright side hustle at the moment. I'm getting consistent orders for those, and I'm doing about 40 to 50 lots of those a month. I'm interviewing, you know, I'm also starting interviews actually today. As of today, I've got an interview with a musician named Westchester, and I'm going to be interviewing them, and I'm going to be also doing interviews for now, and hopefully weekly ones depending on how things go. And I'll be putting those onto my side channel, the Spiderhands Productions page. I've also got this video course that I'm working on. I'm actually creating a guitar video course at the moment. Recorded all the lectures. There's like 50 to 60 like sort of video lectures that I've recorded, and I'm just in the process of editing them. I've done about 13 of those so far, and it'll take me a few weeks to get through the 50, and then I've got to do another round of a few weeks of like getting the footage down to like 5 minutes, because I'm wanting it to be a SP guitar in 5 minutes or less. I then have to add all the little sort of tab bits in, and all the little overlay images, and the fancy titles, and the animations, and all that. You know, the stuff to make it really pop and bounce and be worth people's time. And I'm probably also going to have to re-record some of the lectures as well, because some days I was just exhausted, and I didn't say what I needed to say, and I also have to just put some little post-production Logan bits in as well. But I'm going to be selling that through Udemy, so that'll be passive income, but that's going to be another 4 weeks of me doing maybe 5-6 hours a week of that, you know? So we've got about 5 hours a week of Fiverr stuff. We've got 5 hours a week of, you know, doing the Coursera, Udemy, you know, not the Coursera, the Fiverr stuff. You know, we've got 40 hours a week at the moment if I include the max amount of students I can have doing my music tuition. And then on top of that, I also want to get more into studio production. I want to become like a mixing mastering engineer that works with the international clients that I do reviews for. So I want to get to a point where I do that so well, like I'll be able to have that as like another sort of side hustle as well. So maybe, I don't know, 5 hours of that a week, you know, maybe doing like an EP or something a week, or a couple of singles. And then because I want to buy a house this year, I'd love to buy a house and to be able to just build a studio on that property, have it connected, you know, and then have like a property that's big enough to have a nice garden and stuff like that. But even just having a house that's double glazing, so that it doesn't cause any issues for neighbors will be nice. Because, you know, your first home's not always your forever home. And especially in New Zealand, they have they have assistance to help people get into the housing market. It's friggin' insane over here because of a lot of investors trying to buy up all the properties, and so the house prices have gone up, and it's ridiculous. They have like a 5% deposit thing on mortgages because of the way COVID happened, and then suddenly people were getting their 16-year-old kids to buy a house because it's first home buyers only for that 5%. And then investment properties have to be like 40% now, so it's kind of gone down a little bit, but they made so much money that they can afford that 40% deposit. It's ridiculous, you know. And so I have to be hustling as hard as I can to be able to afford that house, because even if I buy a $500,000 house this year, it's just not gonna really be good enough to be able to do everything I want to. So I have to set things up this year so that I can do my law degree next year, because I want to do copyright law and help musicians and artists to kind of get the hang of that system and to be able to protect their own pieces of art. And that'll go for like video, like all sorts of art forms. I'd love to work with the different sort of visual mediums, and, you know, like film and photography and stuff, because I see people getting screwed over all the time. I'd love to be able to give advice to people, you know. I'd love to, and there's not that many of these kinds of lawyers in New Zealand. So I think I'd do alright for myself through that alone. But then the final thing I want to do is I want to build up a label, like a record label. I want to create an outlet for the music I make and for the local musicians that are within, you know, where I live, so that they can kind of get a grasp of what's sort of required to put yourself out there. You know, I want to help musicians, especially younger musicians, obviously, you know, like 18 or over, but because you don't want to get into any sort of weird legal issues there in regards to, like, I think my understanding of the law in New Zealand is that if it's below 17, you need like the parents involved in the contract and all that, and you get some weird situations with royalties and how parents pay their kids and all that, despite the fact it's the kids actually earning the money. But that's exactly why I want to study the law side of it. But I'd love to sort of work on my label this year and sort of build up merch and kind of, there's all these other things I want to do. So this is kind of where it comes back to what's happening with this stuff here with the channel, because it's not all going to happen at once. I probably also have some personal stuff going on that I'm going to have to sort out, not with me myself, but with like family stuff. So I'm going to have to be there for that. But I have to stick to a schedule with this channel so that it doesn't just die, because there's people that come and watch my streams occasionally. Very dependent on the game. Of course, the vast majority of the people that are subbed to this channel came for Super Mario Maker, and I haven't been playing Super Mario Maker, and except been really vibing with Stardew Valley. I suppose that for me, I need to basically play the games that bring in the people, because that's the purpose of this channel, I can just play games in my own time, you know what I mean? But I kept up with Stardew Valley just because I wanted to build a habit of actually streaming every day, and this is why I apologize for not actually putting a video up today. I will stream tomorrow, but on that note, I'm not going to be able to stream on Saturdays anymore. Because it's just, I'm going to be starting work at 9 o'clock in the morning. That is something I want to stop doing as soon as term 2 hits, which is in April. So this term I'll do it, but then I don't want to get up at 7:45 on a Saturday morning to go to work for that. I don't need to. Why do something if you don't need to? The Udemy course will be out by then. Hopefully there'll be some sales through that. And I'll hopefully have sorted out the audio production by then as well, and my lessons will be continuing, and so will the Fiverr stuff. So I won't need to do that. I won't need that $45 a week. You know what I mean? I'll start at 10 a.m. And I might be able to squeeze in a quick stream at that point, but it's unlikely. It's very unlikely that will occur. It's just going to be quite difficult to pull that off. So for this term, there'll be no streams on Saturdays. I'll do a stream on Sundays potentially, but I also may take Sundays off. I haven't decided yet, you know, because you need to have a day to rest. You need to have a day where you do nothing. You know, you need to have that because you need your brain to wind down. The nature of Fiverr is that I'll probably still be doing some reviews on Sundays, but I'll be making sure to do my interviews if I continue those on Fridays. And if I have to do reviews on Sundays, I mean, I'll do that. I really don't have much else to do. I don't really have much else really to say in this review and in this video, you know. Hopefully this all makes sense, you know. Hopefully it's It's totally fine, and you don't have any questions. I'm sorry if people were expecting me to stream today. I had to sort some tax stuff, and I also had to do some medical tests because I'm getting closer to 30, and I just really need to make sure I'm all good, you know. And yeah, that's my video. I gotta get ready for an interview in an hour. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Stay cool. See you later. And thanks for watching the streams, by the way. It's been good chatting with people. It's a lot more than a lot of streams get, especially. It's a lot more than a lot of streamers get. Spider hands up. Or should I wave? Spider hands up.